Well, boys, I think I sent her a little too hard, bud. What do you think?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Tell Chase isn't awake yet. So, welcome back, guys. I know you guys have been wanting to see more videos, and I know a lot of you want to see more Subaru stuff, which that will come with time. But for now, we're going to be playing with the Honda today, because today is personal day. It's the weekend. Chase is still working away. We got Chester's car here. Some of you guys may have remembered this car from way back. It's going through some big changes right now, as you can tell. Looks like a stock turbo. So
yeah, it might be a little bit bigger, but
this car is going to be on the channel, guys. You guys will see some more Subaru stuff. Don't worry. This is still stock block, guys, and yeah, you saw the size of that turbo. So this will be coming up soon. I was hoping to tune the thing maybe this weekend. Just depends if we get it together. Like I said, Chase is working on it in the background. Got the Honda on the lift. And what you can see here is I have a backup K24A. So this is another stock motor. I was really debating on building the head on the one that's in here. This motor's been at 500 plus wheel for the last 4 or 5 years. So it was really sad to see it go in the way it did, and being you know, a human error. It wasn't that the motor actually gave out. So if you guys are just tuning in now, our last video, I money shifted this motor, went 232, motor saw over 11,000 RPMs. Obviously, this being a stock engine, it really isn't going to take that well when we're already pushing the limits. Stock valve train, probably let the valves bend in it. When you crank it over, it just cranks and sounds like it's low on compression. So pretty minimal for a money shift. I tried to catch it as soon as you could, but in the end, you couldn't really catch it in time. Like I said, we got another stock one here. This motor does have a 50-degree VTC, which those of you who don't know what that is a adjustable intake cam gear, allowing me to have more control on that intake cam and, you know, quicker response, better mid-range, and obviously I can dial back up top to have better power. So that's what that is. And then this does have a K20 oil pump, which allows us to rev this engine a bit higher than what they normally are. Normally it's right around 7,600 is what you rev these things to stock form. This one I was revving all the way out to 8,700 on that track day. I was really hoping we could get through the traps in fourth, but that was never going to happen. I was hitting fifth gear. Even in fifth, we were hitting 7,700 RPM. So definitely a short gear trans that I would like to go through soon or make changes. We will be taking that oil pump and cam gear and putting it on this engine over here. One thing that does separate these two engines here is that one does have a head gasket and head studs. This motor is 100% stock, as you can tell. Just got it imported. This is from HMO, Honda Motors Online. Definitely a reputable source for getting engines. So we've had this in the background as a backup just in case something happens. Like I said, I had kind of contemplated doing a built motor right now, but if I did that, then we're going to be down more time. And one of the biggest mistakes I see made, and I've made, is changing a setup that is working. You know, yes, the car went fast, you know, trapped 141, really happy about that. And then you come back, you're all excited, and you want to instantly change the setup to go faster. Or in the end, there's no reason to change a car that's working. We definitely need to get the car more dialed. It only went an 11.2 at 136, and then we went 11.4 at 141 with issues on shifting. So that's why the ET was a little bit less. So definitely have a lot of room for improvement there to get the car down the track faster. Our race season is at an end now. That was our last track day, so this is just going to be personal enjoyment, you know, going out on a Friday night and enjoying this thing. So definitely going to look at getting my slicks ordered so that we were ready for next season. And like I said, I do have some plans with the transmission. But for now, we're going to put this stock motor in the car. We'll see how long this one lives. I don't know. That all depends if I can keep it out of second gear.
That's 5 years, so
it's a long time.
This thing could be another 5, so we'll see.
If I can just keep it in the right gear. So I'm gonna start getting this thing torn apart. I gotta let this camera charge. Chase is giving me a hard time about not recording, so you guys can thank him for the video today. So it's always you. I always blame you. We're getting this thing charged up, and after this thing has a bit of a charge on it, I will catch you guys up. Like I said, I'm gonna start getting this thing pulled apart. I'm gonna drain the fluids, drain the catch can, you know, and just do all the boring stuff off camera real quick, and then we'll jump right in. It is going to be kind of lame because we're going to pull this out and we're going to have to tear the motor essentially kind of down and tear this one down because we got to switch some parts. Good thing Chase is a pro at that by now. Hey, where are the bolts to mount it to the engine stand? You remember?
I don't.
Damn.
But we'll find them, I'm sure.
Alright, well, we're gonna get going. Alright, for those of you who don't know what this is over here, this is a catch can. I have a quick drain valve underneath the car, which is right here. Let's see what's in there. It's gonna be oil, E85, what do you think?
I say E85.
Last time we drained this, it was just E85, so. Ooh. So it's always gonna be the E first, because it's not as, what is it, it's heavier than oil?
Yeah.
I don't know how that works. Oh yeah, it's just E. This is after a whole night of racing. What? How many passes?
I think 5 or 6.
Alright, let me open this thing all the way up now. Damn, that's it. Damn.
Just the 85. No more lies.
This motor. I'm so sad, bro. I didn't want to kill this motor yet. This motor is a fucking trooper. That's it, we're switching the heads. So as I was letting the GoPro charge, I started just with the basics, get the strip bar off. And I went to go pull a wastegate off, and that can't be good. Oh boy. We got lots of metal here, and not quite sure what that is yet. But my main concern here with this metal is obviously the turbo, because that's what's gonna eat it. That really sucks. That means I don't think we just have just a bent valve failure. I think we have a pretty bad failure. I think this motor is donezo. So let's continue chugging away here. All right, big moment here. I'm noticing a bit of oil underneath the car. I don't know where it's coming from. Let's take this drain plug out. Let's see. Is it gonna be just oil? Yeah, metal. Not quite sure, to be honest. No, it's just metal. It's just oil. Huh. Well, I mean, that's a good sign so far. Who knows if it's just not coming out of the drain plug. But that's just oil. The hunt continues. So as I'm working through all the boring stuff and getting the thing apart, we found a couple things. One that kind of sucks a lot. This turbo has about 400 miles on it, maybe 500 now. And you can tell that something, as you can see there, went through the exhaust and took a fin out on the turbo. Not really what I wanted, especially for this turbo being so new. I did find some metal in the wastegate too, so I have that all sitting up here. This, I guess we're just gonna run it the way it is now. Yeah, you should get it rebuilt. Probably don't recommend to run it that way, but I have intentions of putting a bigger turbo on this car when I do a built motor. That should work for now. It's one fin, couple that are just nicked, but one major fin that is hurt. What would happen with that turbo and having a damaged fin, guys, is it takes it and puts it out of balance. So it would prematurely make that turbo go bad. So, you know, I'll take the risk. Got this thing pretty much the basics here to where I can almost drop it. The only thing left holding this thing in is obviously the motor mounts and then the axles. So I just got to pull those axles out. Went ahead, pulled the plugs out here, and number 4 has a tip, 3 has a tip, 2 has a tip, and 1 all have tips. But you can definitely see something here, and this is from the front of the engine. This will be the number 3 cylinder. There is something on top of those valves that are holding them open. I don't know what it is. I can't really tell. It looks like signs of a piston, but you know, I wouldn't be too surprised obviously if the RPM this thing stopped. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these wheels pulled off here, get the axles pulled out, get the engine dropped out, then we'll see if we pulled this head off today. I don't know. I'm pretty intrigued to see what happened. So let's go ahead and get those off, get this thing dropped, and get ready for our new motor. There we have it. Motor is out of the car now to the side. And with furthermore looking on here, and I know you're not gonna be able to see this right now, but in this number 3, the valves are actually stacked on top of each other. So it did float the valves and it did bend them. That means the intake and exhaust came in contact at the same time, and they are stuck on each other and obviously bent on number 3. So nothing really catastrophic that I can see. You know, maybe once we get the head off, we'll find more of where that metal came from that went through our turbo. I'm thinking maybe the valve seat is what ended up going through here, but we won't know until we tear that one apart. We have our other one right here. This is all stripped down of all the JDM stuff that we're not going to be using. This is just pretty much the bare lawn block. So now we're going to get this on the engine stand. We're going to pop the oil pan off, inspect the inside of this motor. Obviously it's nice that we have this because we can see that, you know, there's any metal in there. And then we'll get this front cover off, get the valve cover off. We'll go ahead and bolt on our K20 oil pump, which I'm going to definitely clean out because obviously you guys saw we had some metal in the oil there. So I'm going to go ahead and get that cleaned out, put that in here, and then we're going to do the 50-degree VTC, retime it, put the motor back together, good to go. This one, like I said earlier, is going to retain its factory head bolts. I'm not planning on changing the gasket or anything like that right now. It does still have the factory head gasket, which you might be able to see there. That one had a J Pro Seal gasket and Air P2000, so we'll just leave it for now, see where we'll go. And I know some of you are seeing in the background, Hyper Blue is back, which more on that later. But for now, we're working on Honda. So we're making some pretty good progress, guys. Here's the new engine here, and we have some sun on it. So I got the front timing cover off, oil pan is off, looks super clean, valve cover's off. Look how clean this thing looks, guys. I'm pretty happy about this, so shout out to HMO on this motor. Guys, this thing is super clean. Now, if you take a look at our old motor here, this thing has always been super grimy. But, I mean, she's been doing the job, guys. You got to give her credit. This thing's made 700 wheel. Like, that's pretty crazy. So I think I'm going to go ahead and actually switch out the head studs on this thing because, I mean, we're already here. I'm sure you guys want to see what's inside this motor as much as I want to see how much of a good core I have here, because I do plan on doing a built engine in this car over the winter. But if I can build this motor on the side while running that one, that would be awesome, because then I'd have the car running. Yes, I know it is super dusty. So like I said, I'm going to take this whole head assembly off here, pull off our head studs, and I'm actually going to pull the head off today for you guys to see what exactly happened. And then we're going to put the head studs into this engine one by one. This will be the first time I've ever done it. You know, there's a lot of people that say it does work, and a lot of people that say that the factory surface is a lot better than if we were to deck it or have any imperfections. You know, obviously we build motors all day long, so I think the surfaces that we have are definitely going to be flat enough or not an issue. But since we're here, let's go ahead, let's put one stud at a time in this engine, and then at least it'll have some head studs in it. And you know, when we're ready to turn this thing all the way up to the moon, maybe we can just get that much more out of it. So let's go ahead, like I said, get that head assembly off, and then I'll get this one torn apart too. Those of you wondering cam gear wise, this is the intake cam. I know the glare is probably pretty bad. This is a RBB, so on these engines they only had I think it was a 40 degree. You might correct me down below on these for VTC, and we have a 50 degree there, which gives us a little bit more. It might have even been just 30 degrees. I think it was 30 on these. So I know, guys, you're getting a little bit spotty in the videos today because I don't have a stand for the GoPro. But you know what, at least we're posting again. Hopefully we can get back on it and keep doing this for you guys. So let me get these heads pulled apart and do a little swapperoo.
She want me to lock it down, but I told her to pass the key. You gotta slow it down, girl, you moving too fast for me. Nobody did it like this, so they wonder, they asking me if I can slow it down, cause it's coming too fast for me. Baby, don't try it, just stop it. You should know that I got options. I be fly like I live in the cockpit. Mess around with the money, get drop kick. Only one in the city to pop quick. Never cared about being your top 10. Got a house in the hills, can you top this? I came from where them boys do you top list. It get crazy around here in my section. All of my ops get to stepping. Know how long I had prayed for these blessings. Took my L's and turned them to lessons. I go take it, I'm not in the begging. If I'm breaking bread, it's only with the brethren.
All right, boys, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's see what happens here. I'm gonna get this damn thing off here. There she goes. Damn, I mean, the piston looks good. This thing's gonna piss everywhere, I'm sure. Yep, it just smacked the valves, boys. That's all she did. I don't know where that metal came from in the engine though. I really don't. But if you take a look here, stock RBB pistons, looking really clean because this thing's always been on E. But you can tell we hit the piston pretty good there on that cylinder. Hit them there. Looks like just on the inner cylinders there. Come over to the cylinder head. Bam, bam, bam. They all touched, guys. So that's good though. I mean, the head's good. That's really weird. These ones are definitely bent. You can see light behind them. Here's that gasket that was on there. So you can see. Making a whole ton of a mess today, guys. But I don't know if it'll pick it up, but there's a gap definitely there. But this is a good core head. I'm just really baffled at what metal-wise went through the turbo. Because, I mean, there was chunks of something. I don't know what it was. You know, unless there's something deeper in the cylinder head I'm not seeing, but no, looks normal, guys. So I got the head studs out of here, obviously. This motor still has its factory head bolts in it. So we're gonna go ahead and take one out at a time and then fully torque them. 80 foot-pounds is what it shows on their install guide. So we're gonna do that. Then I'll have this thing all the way done. I think we're at the finally the full teardown stage, and holy crap, it's a mess in here. So just the downfall, you know. And as I'm doing this, I'm really just having a very difficult time not doing a built motor. Cause I mean, I'm so freaking close right now. This thing's all the way tore down, guys. Like, we're already there. I'm really fighting myself on this decision. And it's not so much that I can't do it right now and buy the parts. It's a matter of waiting for the parts. And I don't really want the car to sit in pieces and not be able to enjoy it in the last month or 2 months that we have right now. I'd rather cruise the car around and enjoy it. So that's why I'm putting this stock motor together. But it's very tempting to just not run this motor and say screw it and build that motor over there. Very tempting. I don't know, maybe I'll change my mind. All right, boys, I saved you guys all the boring part of putting this thing back together. Some might complain, some will be happy. So this is into the next day, and I'm at the night. Spent all day working on this thing. We got the head studs in the motor one by one, like I think I left off on this video. Then I went ahead and put that 50-degree VTC on it. Also went ahead and cleaned out that K20 oil pump, put all that on it. Thing is all the way back together in the car, ready to start. So here we are for first start. I already went ahead, disabled the injectors on the Haltech so I could prime it. Verified we had oil pressure. So let's go ahead, turn those babies back on, and do this first startup with the boys. Got some music playing in here. So let's go ahead and turn our injectors back on. All right, just so you guys didn't see I cheated on you, 66 degrees. Haven't started it, haven't done anything. Oh boy, let's see what happens. Come on, baby. Oh, there we go. Woo, it lives. Make sure we don't got no leaks. I don't see anything. Woo! That girl's running. Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and let the thing bleed out the coolant system here. First start. Freaking so stoked, guys. Oh yeah, I'm excited. I might have to tighten up this belt a little bit over here, but outside of that, guys, looks like we're doing good. No leaks, no issues. Wow, so freaking happy to have this thing back. Alright, I figured we gotta make this video somewhat interesting instead of just a tear down and rebuild. So we're gonna put this thing on the dyno. We're gonna see what it makes on gate. Break this engine just a little bit before we send her to the moon. So prior it made around 460 on 8 pounds. We're gonna see what it makes again on the same 8 pounds. I think it's probably gonna make a little bit less, seeing as our turbo definitely has a couple little chips in it. Will hurt, but we have plans of putting a bigger turbo later on. A lot of other plans for this car. This is just to go have fun for the next month or two. Hopefully our little precision will hang in there for us. What do you think?
I'd say she's still gonna be fast, maybe even faster. We'll
What's
see.
your power guesstimate? 8 pounds.
I said 749, I think I said.
On 8
Somewhere.
pounds?
Yeah. Or no, yeah, 449 on 8 pounds.
And I said 442, so put down your guesses down below. We're gonna load the scene up right now. I haven't even driven the car anywhere. We literally just put the motor in. We're gonna strap it on the dyno. I'm gonna take all the wastegate duty out of the map, put it on just gate, and we're gonna do a full pull, boys. So we'll see how everything goes. Hopefully we won't send this thing right to the moon first pull. But let me hop in here, go get the dyno ready.
seat her rings if they weren't seated.
We got a breaker in right. Just leave it in now. Oh, yeah. Hopefully it doesn't shift our hood up too much.
Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Life, though you limits, you just put them in Coronas, Coronas, Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus, the bonus, the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment, the moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash, bitch, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, I'm zoning. Fast lane, living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground.